Welcome to She Means Business podcast. Today we've got Cozy with Catherine, who is talking all things inner healing.
Hi.
Hi, my son. I'm so here, girls.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. So we wanted to talk to you today about everything that you do. So you give us a little bit of background, like if someone doesn't know you, what it is that you do.
Okay, so what is it that I do? So this is so hard to put into words. I literally just help women to heal. I help women to really connect back to the truth of who they really are. I help them to really become aware of the stories, of the limiting beliefs, of the blocks that are ultimately holding them back in this world, and then step into the most authentic, truest version of who they are. So it's like the work that I do is literally aligning you back to the real you. So it's a lot of undoing, unbecoming, really connecting back to who you are and then showing up in this world as her.
Yeah.
I love that.
That is amazing.
Yeah. Like we was looking at your page earlier and I'm like, oh, your vibe is just so nice.
Yeah, we love it. We were like, we need her today. We need her in our lives. Do you work with like mostly women in business, like who run their own business, or do you work with all different kinds?
So when I first started out, I actually built a really successful business, and that led me into working with business women. But as I onto my own inner healing journey, like doing the work on me, that's led me to working with absolutely anybody.
Everyone.
Women, I don't work with men, but it literally doesn't matter like what you do for a living, who you are, where you come from, your story, your background, like all of that. And that's what I love about the work that I do, because it's for everyone. And I believe like so deeply inside of me that every woman should do this work.
Yeah. Because you don't actually realize what, and I guess working with you would really bring it out, because a lot of people don't actually know what's holding them back or what they may have been through in the past that is like hindering their success.
Yeah.
People don't know because they don't talk about it. So yeah, it's amazing.
And that is exactly it, because we're trying to build like these businesses, or we're trying to manifest the dream home or the dream car, and we're trying to show up for ourselves in this world, and we can't, because we don't know who we are. We're that different from our truth, that we wear a mask and we play a role, and we're really lost. Like it is a feeling of being lost in a world and trying to find your place. But the only way to find your place in this world is by coming back into here, dropping back into the heart space and going within. When you do that, and when you do that inner work on you, for you, the byproduct of that is the house, the dream car, the dream relationship, the successful business. Like you can literally manifest it all, but from a place of truth, instead of a place of having to be what this world wants you to.
So would you say that they all connect together, like with manifestation? Would you say like having the healing work and stuff, would you say that everything connects together? Like you can't get the best manifestation like results as such, like without doing that internal work?
Well, something that I really preach so deeply within myself is, if you don't know who you are in this world, if you're not connected to the truth of who you really are, how do you know what you want? How do you know what you're out here trying to manifest? Because I actually have a program where I go into ego-led manifestation and soul-led manifestation, because when we're wearing that mask and we're really caught up in what society, especially social media, tells us to be, to have, to look like, we are striving for a life that isn't even what we want. It's not what the wants, and that's exactly what happened to me. Like when I built my multi-six-figure business, I was striving for everything. Like I was in the I was in the story of like, I need a better watch, I need more Louis Vuitton, I'm dripping in designer, I need a better car. And I just kept searching and running and chasing. And I got to the point on my journey where I was just like, how can I possibly be this unhappy, feel this level of emptiness within when I've got everything that I've ever wanted?
Mm-hmm.
When my real journey began, that is when I had to really face myself in the mirror. And if you're a woman who wears a mask and you're disconnected and you don't know who you are, then that's probably the most difficult thing that you will go through on your journey, having to feel you, because you're so disconnected from her that you don't even know who she is. And that's and that I was faced with, and that is how my healing journey began. I had to stop seeking for the Louis Vuitton, for the Rolex watch, and I had to really face myself. And that led me where I am today, like doing what I'm doing for these women.
What would you say is like someone's first step if they feel like they need to do that and they need to heal? Like where would they go? What would they do? Like what would they do first?
So, that just gives me goosebumps. So, for anybody who's listening to this right now and you may be at a place on your journey, on your path, where you feel lost, you feel disconnected, you don't know who you are, like you don't know what lights your soul up. Like when you wake up in the morning, you don't even, there's no connection to self. And the first thing to really enable you to tap into that is stillness, like sitting with yourself, allowing yourself and giving yourself permission to feel. So something that I teach my students, every single one of them, no matter how long they've done the work for me, is to just stop, slow down, allow yourself to sit still, literally put your hands on your heart space, connect to your breath, your life force energy, and ask yourself the question, who am I? Like, what am I here to do? Who am I here to be? What's my purpose? What's my passion? What lights me up in this world? And if you struggle to answer those questions and you struggle to connect, then that is your soul telling you, we need to go within, we need to go on this journey. And my advice would be, so it's not about like, you know, going to Bali and meditating with the monks for 7 months. Find a park or a field or even your back garden where there's grass, where there's nature. Get yourself out, take your shoes off, get on the grass, ground yourself, feel into Mother Earth and connect back to yourself. And it really is about allowing yourself to come out of the mind and dropping into the heart space. And we don't do that. We don't, especially as women, because it's scary. Like the heart space is where we carry the pain, the trauma, the guilt, the shame, like everything that we've been through on our life journey, it stays in the heart space. So then we stay up here because it's easier to numb it out. It's easier to not pour me another glass of wine. I'm not dealing with that shit that I went through. And that's how then we're in full of just complete disconnection from who we really are. But then what happens is we stay in a story of like, I'm not confident, I'm shy, like I can't show up on Instagram, I can't do videos, I can't start a podcast, I can't write a book, I can't go after my dreams. Like I'm not like that, I'm just not like that. But really, you are, and you are more than capable, but you're hidden underneath all of the trauma, all of the stories and the programming that you created as a child, and you're still in with no awareness.
It's so crazy.
It's so crazy. Like
it's so powerful. And like what you said before about really understanding like what you want. I actually went on a business retreat not long ago, and they had us team up, and I was paired up with this woman, never met her in my life, and we had to scream at each other, what do you want? And I was like, woo, because I actually didn't know. And when you've got someone like in your face saying, what do you want? And then you say, a nice car. And she's like, no, what do you want? And it was over and over and over again to really like figure out what it is you want. And I didn't fucking know. And I thought I did. I was like, I don't know what I want. And like, it's so good. And obviously I think I would actually benefit from
I feel like I'm just starting on this journey.
Yeah.
Like I went to a breathwork class last week in Dubai, and I loved it. But I've never done anything like that before. Like I feel like, you know, when you see other people doing it, if you don't feel like you're spiritual, you feel like you wouldn't get anything from it. And I went, and I was telling you about it, weren't I? I didn't realise that I'd go so deep into it. But I think I had like a spiritual awakening because I literally went into another fucking world. Like my whole body, like my hands were doing that, like, you know, when you see like them weird yeah.
Really?
No, I literally like I couldn't feel my hands. I was like not with my body. It
No
was the
way.
fucking weirdest thing
Yeah.
ever experienced. And then I almost got a bit stuck at the end and couldn't come back round. And the woman come over, and I was like, "Oh, like, can you stay with me?" I don't know how I spoke to her, and she was like almost pulling something out of me, and she was going, push it out, and I had like, honest, how I could describe it, all of this energy, like trauma stored somewhere. And it was like going around my body, and I was like breathing really hard, and I was pushing it out.
Yeah.
And it's like afterwards, I felt like I was off my nut. Like I was like, it was the most insane experience I've ever had in my whole life. And I was like, wow, I'm definitely going to keep doing this.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it made me just feel like, I just feel like I released this
So
trauma.
much
And
that-
she
yeah.
said that, she was like, now you're probably going to start wanting to find yourself more and like what, like do more of this work, because it was insane. Like like the fact that you get to do that for people, I think is the fit. Like I can only describe my experience was amazing. So it must
Yeah.
be so amazing to like see people feel like that, and you've helped them.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And all that is in your body is stored energy, and we carry that around every single day. 90% of the energy that is just stagnant in our body, the fears, the everything that holds us back, that makes us play small, the insecurities, like all of it. I believe, because I'm an inner child integration practitioner as well, so I specialize in inner child work. The majority of it is all our inner child. It's just that little girl inside of us who doesn't feel safe, it doesn't feel secure, it doesn't feel enough. And it's our job as adult us to go back and get her, sit with it in the pain, in the darkness, in all of that fear, and then bring her with us into this light. So now, like, what's got me to where I am today is my connection to my inner child, because she doesn't feel lost anymore. She doesn't feel scared. But if we're trying to navigate through life, especially if you're a businesswoman and you're trying to go all in on that dream, on that idea, on whatever it is that you're trying to bring into fruition, if you've got this little insecure girl inside of you who's full of fear, who doesn't want to be seen, who doesn't want to be heard, who doesn't want to use her voice to speak her truth, then it's a losing battle. Like you and then we fall into the trap of, I can't do it, I'm not good enough, that's for other people. But really, all you need to do is just go back and do the inner work and heal her in order to become this version of you. And breath work changed my life. Like, and this is what I mean. Like, you don't even have to go to a breathwork practitioner. You can do that in your house. You can do it in your bed, onto YouTube, and literally type in breathwork session, and there's so much free stuff. Like when women come to me and they want to work with me, I always say to them, like, you can do this work by yourself in your own home. Like you can tap in any time that you want.
So fab. How long would someone typically work with you? Do you have different options, or is it kind of tailored to that person?
So I do one-to-one work, which we will start 12-week, and then if you want to carry on, we can go on forever. I do a signature program, which is like, it sells out straight away. It's my most successful signature mentorship program, which is called Heal Your Heart Space. That is a 4-week journey. The work is deep. It's the hardest work that you'll ever do on your journey. And every single woman who's ever done the course has said that to me, because it's not about meditating. It's not just sitting around doing breath work. It's really going back to that trauma. So we do like inner child work, cutting cord ceremonies, self-forgiveness, working with your mother wounds, your father wounds, all of your subconscious programming. And what I say about this course is it really is an awakening, because once you do this course, you will never be the same again, because once you awaken to this work, you can't go back to sleep. You stay in it, and then your journey continues. And that's the most beautiful thing about it. Like, it is getting you on the journey and realizing that this is for life. Like, the work never ends, and you continue it. Like, there's layers to getting to know yourself, so you'll feel like you've met a part of yourself and you're so connected, but then there's a deeper layer and a deeper layer, and it just goes on and on. But that's the beauty of it, and that's how you quantum leap and shift timelines. Like, you literally will shift timelines through doing this work, because that version of you no longer exists, and then you create a brand new version. But then when you get to that version, there's a new version waiting to be birthed. So it's like, it's a constant rebirth and rediscovery of the real you, but not about the becoming. It's not about doing the work to become anything. It's the unbecoming, it's the going back, it's the undoing, and then realizing that the you that you're looking for is there the whole entire time, but she's hidden underneath all of the bullshit.
Yeah. So amazing.
Would you say that, like, so would you say most people that come and start to work with you, would you say that their like outlooks and what they want in life changes throughout the course?
So much. I actually done a self-forgiveness healing session last night, and something that I said to them, because I've just opened my Heal Your Heart Space program for enrollment last night, so I was talking them through it, and something that I said was, when I work with these women, I don't get messages saying like, oh my God, Catherine, I've just signed, you know, a 5-figure client, or I've just manifested 100 grand, or I've just got my dream car. I get messages which are like, oh my God, Catherine, like, today is the first day that I've woke up in a morning and I don't feel anxious. Like, I've actually done the school run. I've got out of my car and I've stood in the playground for the first time in 2 years. And messages like, I'm literally sat in my car, stuck in traffic, and normally things like this would stress me out, but I'm just looking at the sky and I'm looking at the clouds and the sun and how blue the sky is, and I just feel so much gratitude and how beautiful the world is and what a gift it is to be here. And then what happens is, when we step into that vibration of literally being grateful when you go into your kitchen in the morning and you make that cup of coffee, when that song comes on and you start dancing around the kitchen, you've not danced in years, when you feel that little girl inside of you and you feel so much love and compassion for everything that she's went through and the shame that we carry, and you fall in love with them parts of yourself, a byproduct of being in that vibration of that frequency, the business, the success, the house. Because when you show up in this world in the frequency of love and gratitude is the highest frequency that we can vibrationally align into, then the universe matches that, because like attracts like, and we are a magnet. There's a universal law called the law of vibration, and when we are in the vibration of showing up for us, then the universe is like, do you know what, I'm going to send her this opportunity, I'm going to send her this person, and then you're going to get in a conversation with that person, and then that opportunity is going to come, then you might have a podcast and someone's going to listen to it who's like, I need her in my life, and then you're going to do this, and this is how your dream life unfolds. But firstly, it starts with you being the vibrational match for everything that your soul. When we're in the vibration of lack, of fear, of limitation, the universe can't bring it to us. We block ourselves. And that's something that is massive in the work that I do, because when you start to heal those parts of yourself, then it unlocks new levels, like new doors that you literally had no awareness was possible for you.
It's amazing, isn't it? People actually, something I'm really good at is I am so positive and so grateful, and so is my boyfriend Ashley. We're a good little match. But people always say to me, like Poppy, one of our friends, is quite negative sometimes. Things don't always go right for her, and she's like, Olivia, you're like a cat with 9 lives. You're the luckiest girl. You have all of these things. And I always say to it, it's because I literally walk down the street and I'm like, I am just so blessed to be walking my dog. And like, I do it all the time and I don't even realize. And I think that is a huge part of why I've got to where I am today and why I always win everything.
Everything.
I win everything. It's hilarious. But yeah, it's so important just to be so grateful and it is just like a switch in your brain. Obviously, there's so much deep work you can really do, but...
No, but I think anything starts with, like, say if you was going to go on like a self-healing journey, it does just go with, it's just that one switch that you're like,
so,
I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to sort myself out. I want to change, or like you just switch.
Yeah, because like we were saying before, people can learn all the strategies on like marketing and content and techniques and stuff, but if you just
if it's
don't
not right
believe...
for you, like we were saying this earlier in one of our other episodes, weren't we? Like, say you want to be successful, you want to make X amount of money or something, that's what people think their goal is, and they're like copying someone else's life. That person's not you. Like you can't copy someone's strategy for their success. Like that might feel like shit to you. Like that's not your dream life, that's their dream life. Like that's not...
Yeah, like you have to do the inner...
Yeah, and you've got to be like on your journey, like what you want to make you happy.
Yeah,
sure.
Absolutely. I built my business in aesthetics, which is a wild industry, and I had a training academy, and I no longer have it now. I let go of that business when I stepped into this brand new one because the universe was literally screaming at me that it was time to let go. And if I was out here saying that I wanted this life and I wanted to help all these women, then I would have to let that business go. And that took so much courage for me, like walking away from a business that I'd built, that had changed my entire life. But something that I seen a lot of in aesthetics, and I taught my students, so I used to have a mindset course that would I'd implement on my masterclasses. And what I would say to them is the reason why you're so lost with no direction, you're so disconnected, you've got so much insecurity and fear around your business is because you're trying to be something that you're not, and you're trying to compete and compare yourself to everybody else in the industry. And that's what everyone was, just like a clone of one another. And the only question that I get asked a lot actually is, how are you so confident with what you do? So like I literally stand on a stage for a living. I travel the country and motivational speak, and I do my own live events, and people say to me like, how do you get that confidence though? And I think people expect me to say like, oh, you just take this pill, or you just read this book, listen to this one podcast. But something for me on my journey, and that I love to pour into other women, is the reason why I am so confident is because I know who I am, because I'm connected to who I am. So I don't ever pretend to be something that I'm not. So I don't have any fear of imposter syndrome. Like I never get that, because when you can show up in the world and you can walk into a room and you're like, this is me. And even like, so the business women listening, like relate this to your business. When you can be in your business, rooted in who you are, and you can be like, this is me, this is just who I am, and every day I show up as her. When the universe sends you those people who might not like you, because we're not for everyone, and that's beautiful, or they might say something about you, or they don't feel connected to you, instantly, if you're trying to be somebody that you're not, you're wearing a mask, you're playing a role, you're not in your truth, you will get offended. You will feel the fear of judgment. You will let that person affect your energy, because it's a case of like, why don't you like me? Because I'm trying to be liked. I'm trying to be who you want me to be. How can you not like me? But when you can show up in a room and you're like, this is me, like this is just who I am, that's my story, this is where I come from, like I don't have to wear a mask, like this is just who I am, that's a superpower. Because then you don't fear judgment, you don't fear rejection, you don't fear abandonment, because you are so rooted in who you are, showing up in your business, in the world, like with every single aspect of your life, your relationship, your friendship, around your family. Like you don't change, you don't put that mask on for anybody, then the universe can align you with what is meant for you. you become irreplaceable. When you're trying to be like the next practitioner, or you're competing with her prices, or you're doing what she's doing, or you're copying her TikToks or whatever everyone's doing this day and age, like I feel like on TikTok, everybody's a clone of each other. That is when you are replaceable, because they'll just go to the next girl because you're just like her. But when you stand out for who you are, you can't be replaced. And that is build your business, and it becomes a very, very personal brand. Like, people will invest into you for you, not what you do. That is the secret formula to your success.
Yeah, 100%. What would you
that.
say is, like, if someone was listening is really struggling with maybe being authentically themselves, what would you say is like a good tip to step into that?
Firstly, the awareness. Like, without the awareness, we can't change. Like, we don't know what we don't know. So when I first started my business in aesthetics, and I was showing up wearing this mask, and I made a vow to myself, when I started getting successful in aesthetics, I was like, nobody's gonna know my story. I'm not telling anybody. Now I literally travel the country telling my story. Like, anybody doesn't know my story. But back then, because I was so disconnected and I didn't know who I was, and I didn't like myself, I didn't want to be me, so I would try and be anybody but me. I wore that mask. There was no awareness. I didn't know that was who I was being. I just thought that's just who I am. And until, again, I just sat with myself, and then I started to ask myself the deep questions that we avoid. Like, first question to ask yourself, like, are you happy? Like, are you really happy? Not because of the bank account, of the business, of the car, of the followers, of the likes. Strip all that back, take it all away from you right now in this moment. Are you happy? Can you face yourself in a mirror? Do you know who you are? And then if the answer is no, that is when you start to recreate your relationship to you. A massive tip for anybody who wants to do that and wants to really figure themselves out is being in your solitude, spending that time with you. Take yourself on coffee dates, go out on, like, really allow yourself to connect back to you without everything outside of yourself, because all of the answers that you're looking for are within. Like, they're already within you, and the only reason that you can't access them is because you're so busy seeking and searching outside of yourself. The journey really is back in, and that will lead you to the truth of who you are. And then one morning, I promise you, one morning you'll just wake up and you'll just be like, this is me. Like, I get to be me. And like what you were saying before about having to scream, like, what do you want? What do you want? I have done that to myself. I have literally, like, stood in a mirror and screamed at myself, like, what is it that you want? Like, fuck the vision board, fuck the Louis Vuitton, like, all of that. What do you want from this life? And a big one for me was to be able to wake up in a morning and just be myself, not having to act, not having to play a part, not having to wear a mask, not having to walk into a room and people please and try and be what you want me to be. And that's all I've ever known my whole life. And that morning, like, when it happened to me after doing the inner work and being in my solitude and the grounding and the meditation and, you know, all of the healing work, the day that became my life changed everything. And life has never been the same ever again since. And that truly is your freedom, what you're looking for. It's not the money, it's the freedom to be you in this world.
That's amazing.
It's amazing. I think it's so overlooked, is like the happiness, because everyone thinks that happiness is like a number, like everyone puts a price on it, don't they? Like, people are like, going to be happy once to buy a house, going to be happy once to get married, going to be happy when I get that bag, going to be happy when I do this. And you're like, you get that to that point, you get that thing, and it's like 5 minutes, you're like, woo, and then it's like fucking, you're just back to feeling exactly the same as you did.
Yeah.
And people don't realise that, like, you can't buy happiness.
No, you really can't.
No.
But yeah, what would you say is like your main tip for someone in business but related to you? Do you know, like with like healing and stuff, what would be your main like business tip for that?
I think if you're somebody who's in business and you're trying to create this success, you're trying to create this business which, you know, you might have a money goal, you've got a vision board, you've got all of the things. The first question to ask yourself is, does this business bring me joy? Does this business light up my whole entire soul? Do I wake up in the morning with deep gratitude that I get to do this for a living? Does what you do for a living fill your soul up? Would you do it for free? Would you have that life even if there was no attachment? So there wasn't the money, there wasn't the house, there wasn't the car. And I think when we're able to follow our joy and our happiness, that is when the money and the house and the car and whatever it is comes with that, because money isn't real. Money is an illusion. It's just a number. It's just a piece of paper. It's a number on a phone screen on your internet banking. It's not real money. It's just energy. The energy exchange to earn that money, to have that number on your screen, is what you do from your heart, from your soul.
Love that.
Vibrationally, and you've got to be an energetic exchange. How? By loving what you do, like feeling it. It's got to be a feeling, and this is why, like, always feel into the frequency of not focusing on what you do for a living, focusing on who you are.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. I think as well, like what you said, asking yourself if you're like, does this business bring you joy? There's so many people who are in careers that they absolutely hate, and like we teach a lot of beginners, don't we? I do permanent makeup and Chloe does aesthetics, and so many people come out of careers that they hated, and it's took them so much courage to come and join one of our courses, and it's so new, but they're so happy and excited at the end of it because they want to do it. But it's took them so long to leave that job that they hate because they're kind of scared of looking like a failure or starting something new. But asking yourself, like, is this waking up at this time and going to this job, is it making me happy? No. So let's do something about it. Let's change it. It's so powerful.
I love that you left your business to make your own new business. Like, I think that's so powerful that you left your business that you'd built up for that long to go and do a new business. Like, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's been a journey, and you know, I actually got into aesthetics through being in the worst place in my life. Just quickly, going back like 4 years ago, I had a mental breakdown. I had PTSD, I had depression, I had anxiety, I was suicidal, and I lost everything. Like, I lost my house. I had a social worker because I was in a domestic violent relationship. She got us a place in a women's refuge. I lost my car. I literally, when I say I had nothing, I mean I had nothing, to the point I didn't want to be here. Luckily, my son is my strength, who just keeps me going through everything. And when I started aesthetics, it was to get me out of that life. It was to really change my whole entire life around, and it did. But then what happened is the universe had a bigger plan, and the universe very, very quickly showed me the life that I believe that I'm sent here to live, which is helping women to heal. So then I was trying to do both, because I didn't want to let that business go. Like, that he bought me a £500,000 house, the Porsche on my drive. Like, it changed everything, and the universe was screaming at me like, these women need you. And if you're still pouring your time, your energy into this aesthetics business, which you've outgrown, like, that's not you anymore, it served its purpose, but it's done, then these women can't reach you. And then one morning I had to wake up and I had to make the decision, and to do that was so difficult, because I literally had to sit there and refund students their deposits back, because my courses was booking out like a month, 2 months in advance. So it wasn't like the big slow and then I let it go. Like, it was at its highest, and I had to make that decision. And that's another thing, like, when you know who you are and you're connected to your truth and you're in your heart space and you're coming from your soul instead of your ego, the universe will always send you those tests, those lessons, those timeline shifts, and then it's up to you to have the courage to make those decisions, and you can only make them from the truth of who you are.
Yeah. Can I ask what made you totally leave the aesthetic side and maybe not, you know, just have staff in there? Were you just like kind of over that industry as a whole, or?
Yeah, do you know what? It wasn't a case of over it because I loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it, and I was very, very extremely talented at lips. Like, I literally had women flying over to me from different countries. Like, the lips that I would do was phenomenal, and it was a case of my soul knew, my soul. Like, I do live events where, and by the way, my tickets went on sale today, which I love that I'm on this podcast today. This morning to my next live event. But I'm telling the universe that I want this life. Like, send me all of the women who need to heal, who need to go on this journey. Like, I have got this message that I believe I can take worldwide. Like, I don't just I believe that this gift that I've got, which is my voice and speaking my truth and helping women to heal, it's selfish of me to ever play small with it because I know how many women need it. So it's like screaming, and as you're listening to this podcast, like, resonate this with your business and where you are in your life. So I'm telling the universe that I want this life, that I'm ready. Like, I want to be worldwide on these stages, and the universe is saying to me, well, why are you still in your little salon in Widnes then?
Yeah, you couldn't have gone all in this if you were still in that.
Yeah.
And that's what we do. Like, we fear letting go because the unknown is so scary. But really, the universe got a bigger plan for us, but we have to let go. So whether that's the relationship, the friendship, whatever it is that you're holding onto, that you know in your soul that you need to let go of, it feels scary because being in the unknown, like, your nervous system is literally, it like can't regulate in the unknown because we don't know what we're doing, we don't know where we're going, and the ego, the mind, likes to control. But the universe is asking you need to let go of that, because if that door doesn't close, then that one can't open.
Yeah. It's making me well up. Why is it making me well up?
It's like when people go through bad times, like they lose their job or something, and at the moment their whole world is crashed down, but then they get another opportunity and it's even better. And it's like understanding that those uncomfortable situations and times are sometimes some of the best things that can happen.
Well, you can't grow without going through something uncomfortable, can you? Because it's always going to be like a change.
Yeah, definitely. And again, every single thing comes back to you being connected to you and truth. Like, it's a case of, am I in my truth when I'm doing aesthetics, when I'm building this business? Like, is this what my soul was sent here to do? Is this what lights me up? And then as I'm helping these women to heal, and I'm literally getting women reaching out to me saying, you've literally changed my life, then it's a case of, you're not in alignment, you're not in your truth. And why are you doing aesthetics for money? And we can anything in this world for money. And I say that to every single student. If your reason for doing what you do in this lifetime is money, it will never work, because money can't be chased. Money doesn't like to be chased. Money likes to be attracted, likes to flow into your life. So when we're doing it for the outcome of money, and this is why people say, I can't manifest, like, it's so hard to manifest the money, and it's because you're not in your truth of doing what you love. And then money is a byproduct of who you are, not what you do.
Yeah. So good. I love it. Do you ever go to America?
Do I ever go?
Yeah, to do because I live in LA and I feel like the people in LA would love you. You know, your live events and stuff.
Oh my God. One day, let me tell you. One day. And by the way, this is all very new for me. Like, when I'm not talking years, like, my spiritual business is literally, I started it at the beginning of the year. And in all honesty, when I started this spiritual business, I did not expect it to take off as fast as it did. Like, the way that it's just elevated, I did not expect it. So I thought for the next 2-3 years, I would still be doing the aesthetics with this alongside. Well, it's just grown, and because of how big it is, that is why I had to walk away from.
Yeah. What do you think's enabled you so much success in such a quick period of time?
Honestly, like, I believe it, like, so deeply. It was doing the healing work. It was it was really facing myself for everything that I've been through in my life, and it was healing those wounds. But we can't heal those wounds without going back and sitting in that pain, in that darkness. So just doing a meditation or just going and walking on grass is gonna heal that wound. No, you've got to go back to that version of who you was at that time in your life, the version that you've avoided, that you don't want anything to do with. And
I think I want to join the healing class.
I do.
I really want to join it. I think I want to join it. When does it start? Today?
Can we join?
20th of October. Honestly, girls, like, this is the deepest work that I ever do. Like, it's so hard for me to put it into words because it's an experience, it's a feeling.
Yeah. Me and Chloe have been through some similar traumas, and we're both business owners, and we often ask each other,
this, don't we?
How have we managed certain things with what we've been through? But neither of us have actually faced what we've been through head on.
No.
And I feel like if
like,
we
I
did,
love that you
we
can
would,
just sit there and be really open about what you've been through, and we've both been through really similar things.
Yeah.
But it's just like still built up in you, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like,
never
I said
talk
that
about it.
when I did that breathwork session last week, I really felt like all of this trauma came out of me, and I didn't even realise it was stored.
But I mean, imagine if we really faced it head on, like
I think I want to do it.
Could, we could do it.
So it's 4 weeks at like the first healing thing.
Yeah, so it's 4 weeks online. So every Sunday it's a 2-hour live session, and then there'll be things to do in your own time in between, which every girl who's on it will be put into a group. And then there's like integration practices and.
Oh, I think I want to do it. I think I'm going to be on your class.
Same. You got 2 new students.
I always say that, like, just with you saying that then about you're both successful business women and you've got to where you've got through, like, something that I always say, and anybody listening to this just have a little feel into the energy behind it, is who are you when nobody's watching? Who are you outside of Instagram? Who are you when you're not the businesswoman? Because we believe that we can love and accept ourselves when we're having a good day, when the business is smashing it, when the clients are coming in, when we feel good, when we've been in the gym, when we're eating healthy, we look in the mirror and I'm like, oh, I love my skin today, oh, my hair's gone really nice. We love that side of ourselves. That's not it. That is not the work. That's easy. Everyone can do that. Who are you when you feel like shit? Who are you when you wake up in the morning and you don't even want to face the world? You don't even want to get out of bed. How do you speak to yourself? How do you look at yourself in the mirror? Like, when you're getting ready to go to work in the morning or do the school run or go out with the girls, whatever it is, how do you speak to yourself in the mirror? Do you pull yourself apart? Do you body shame? Do you literally put yourself down? Because that is the you, that the vibration of the universe vibrates back to you. So it's not you who shows up on Instagram, it's not you who stands on a stage like empowering women. That is not who the universe responds back to me. The universe vibrationally aligns me with who I am behind closed doors. So little things like, when you're at the Asda and you see somebody struggling with the shopping bags, like, who are you in that moment? Do you go over and help, or do you think, oh fuck that, I can't be asked? Because that is who the universe responds back to. And when you do this deep inner healing work, you literally bring out all parts of yourself and show up in the world like that. And then the universe literally responds that back to you, because that is who you are. Like, the version of you on Instagram, or when you're having a good day, or when your business is smashing it, that isn't the real you.
Yeah, I love that.
It's amazing.
Oh, I loved today.
Me too. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Amazing. I love listening to stuff like this.
I could literally listen to you all day.
I know, my neck's hurting because we're
just both staring at you.
Like staring at you on the screen.
No, I could literally stay on this for another hour, but doctors. So
Oh yeah, you do, don't you? Forgot about that. But yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you as well. I'm going to definitely message you after because
Yeah.
I want to join your program.
I'd love to have you. And honestly, I'm so grateful that you've asked me to be a part of this. Like, thank you so much for reaching out to me.
Oh, thank you
thank
for
you for
joining.
coming.
And what is your Instagram for anyone listening? How can people find you and follow you and your story?
So my Instagram is just Catherine with a C _ Amy. That's it.
Amazing. We'll put it on the
We'll put it
screen,
on the
yeah.
thing at the end.
Thank you so much, Catherine.
Oh, thank you so much,
Thank
girl.
you. Have an amazing day. Goodbye.
See you later.
Bye.